All right, so it is August 11th, 2020. I'm in Orville, California. It is 1:50 p.m. So I finished up cleaning up this place. I'll make another blog about that stuff and art stuff. And so this is the book vlog. So I've been reading books, or showing some of the books that I liked and interested in, or that's the goal anyway. So I started off with the four something something, and then I read a Walt Whitman book that I had gotten at the library of his poetry. So I kind of wanted to keep going with these. Some of the books that I actually read, I have them all put away since I've been cleaning up this place. So I've been trying to keep some of these books with me because I actually do enjoy reading, even if I don't really finish books lately. So this is actually the book, I don't know if that's going to be backwards or not, but The Human Side. This is Einstein. I had cut out, I like buying books. I'm one of those guys, people that buys books and never finishes reading them. I just have them and I look at them and I read them here and there. So this is one of those books that I had bought that I really liked, and I've read some. It's an easy reading, but normally I've been working on my art stuff. But the cool thing that I read on this, I used this book, cut out some of the pieces, I think, pretty sure, for the death of the bluebird painting, and which I kind of regret, but I wanted to use something. The book was so, his writings, his letters were so good that they were so human and meaningful that it really hit me pretty hard. That how like I could almost hear his voice, and to think that you can read these people that changed histories, words, voices throughout time after so much time. It's cool to see video of them, but this is really, it was just cool. I never thought I would, somebody that meaningful to society and was such a normal human being, and kind, generous human, very open in his thoughts. Even though one of the things that he had said in the book was, if he realized that people were gonna be nitpicking everything he said, he wouldn't have written anything. And and that is pretty intense coming from someone like Einstein. So I'm gonna read something. I just opened the book. I wasn't sure what I was gonna read, but kind of looked it over, and it's really good. It's kind of what I was saying, how powerful his soul was. And it's weird. Let me say this too before I get into it. It's kind of weird that people through time will find faults in people and say this and that. And in this generation, there's a lot of people that want to say the negative about Gandhi and say the negative about Einstein, and it's really the counterculture at the moment is there's this thing going on in social media and culture through social media, however it's propagated from whatever powers that be propagate this thing where they just find the negative and things, and use that as the main, as thinking that people don't like Nietzsche. I've been reading Nietzsche, or not reading, listening to some of the stuff, and I noticed like a lot of people were really off put by him because Adolf Hitler actually, used him as, and I guess his sister used him as a catalyst for their agendas. But and then same thing with who was it? It was another thinker. It was like, I'm not these people that follow me, that that Jungian. I'll never be Jungian, and Carl Jung had said that, and so it's kind of weird when people, the masses, kind of gather around something and use it for their own agendas and change it up. Change a human being's contribution, especially through 70 years later or a few generations later. All right, so on February 1st, 1954, a correspondent cited Einstein's urgings that people be prepared to go to prison if necessary in order to preserve free speech and oppose war. The correspondent went on to say that his wife, seeing that what Einstein had written, pointed out that he had not wasted any time in leaving Germany when the Nazis came to power, instead of staying on to speak out and risk being jailed. She contrasted this with the behavior of Socrates, who refused to leave his country but stayed to fight it out. She also remarked that it was easier for well-known people to speak out than it was for lesser men. On the 6th of February 1954, Einstein replied in English as follows. For some reason, he omitted in the English version a remark in the German draft, a translation of which is added here enclosed in square brackets. Thank you for your letter of February 1st. I think that what your wife had said is pretty well to the point. It is true that a man who enjoys some popularity is in a less precarious situation than someone unknown to the public. But what better use could a person make of his name than to speak out publicly from time to time if he believes it necessary? The comparison with Socrates is not quite to the point. For Socrates, Athens meant the world. I, however, never identified myself with any particular country, least of all with the German state, with which my only connection was my position as member of the Prussian Academy of the Sciences and the language which I learned as a child. Although I am a convinced Democrat, I know well that the human community would stagnate and even degenerate without a minority of socially conscious and upright men and women willing to make sacrifices for their convictions. Under present circumstances, this holds true to a higher degree than in normal times. You will understand this without explanation. Einstein held Supreme Court Justice Louis D. Brandeis in the highest esteem. Here's part of a brief statement that he sent to Kossuth on 19th October 1931 to the Boston Journal, the Jewish Advocate, which was celebrating Brandeis' 70th birthday. True human progress is based less on the innovative mind than on the conscience of men such as Brandeis. On the 10th November 1936, Einstein in Princeton sent him directly the following letter. The handwritten original is among the Brandeis paper of the law school of the University of Louisville. With the deepest veneration and fellow feeling, I clasp your hand on the occasion of your 80th birthday. I know of no other person who combines such profound intellectual gifts with such renunciation, while finding the whole meaning of his life in quiet service to the community. We of all thank you not only for what you have accomplished and brought about, but also because we feel happy that such a man should exist at all in this time of ours, which is so lacking in genuine personalities. With reverent greetings. Alrighty, so like that was some meaningful stuff that they said, and these are letters. So this is new glimpses from his archives, selected and edited. Okay, so I'm pretty sure these are all like letters and stuff. Yeah. In one of his letters, I'm gonna read the opening. Albert Einstein wrote, "There is far too great a disproportion between what one is and what others think one is, or at least what they say they think one is. But one has to take it all with good humor. Not only Einstein's modesty and humor, but also his compassion, sensitivity, and wisdom emerge in this collection of quotations from his writings. These non-scientific quotations, most of them hitherto unpublished, take us beyond the superficial images of the stereotyped scientist or of the caricatured legend and bring us closer to the actual man. Einstein wrote as readily to ordinary people as he did to the world famous, and his letters cover a wide range of topics. To a despondent 19-year-old student at Rutgers University, he writes on the purpose of human life. To a graduate student in psychology, he gives advice on interfaith marriage. He responds to a Colorado banker's inquiry as to whether Einstein believes in a personal God. And he commits on a confused correspondent's surmise that falling in love could be attributed to being temporarily upside down due to the Earth's rotation. He comforts fifth grade student in Ohio who has been dismayed to learn that human beings are classified as animals. And he writes earnestly to a sixth grade child in New York City Sunday school who has asked him whether scientists pray. Many of Einstein's letters, as well as rhymes he composed for special occasions, reveal his warmth and wit. Even as letters to people affected by Hitler's Germany reveal his horror at the Nazi atrocities and his devotion to the cause of Zionism. His love and knowledge of music play an important role in moving series of letters to Queen Elizabeth of Belgium, while letters to his sister offer us a glimpse of Einstein as brother and son. Most of the material quoted in this book comes from the Einstein archives. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So yeah, what's interesting is I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and so I'm not sure what the rules are for copyrights to read people's books on this YouTube channel. But, so I don't want to read the whole thing. This is really just a one-sided conversation to you guys, whoever watches this, just to see what books and kind of just read these great thinkers, these great books that might have meaning to you as well, which they should. Sharing information is pretty fun and I think important to society, and this is my little way to help with that as I continue reading books and learning. I can't say how much I can't emphasize how important this computer age has been, just from the smartphone, of how much I've learned on YouTube and reading these audiobooks, listening to these books, listening to these thinkers, listening to them talk. It took me a while just to get acquainted with what's available digitally, and as opposed to creating my own work. And it's just pretty amazing, man. I mean, the future, whatever's next, as a human group in our learning, I'm not sure if if just thinkers use it for like learning information. I know there's a group of people that they call, they say that they're addicted to learning information. They just love information, and I don't know, I might be part of that. So I'm not sure what normal people do, what everyone else does with the internet stuff. I know most people use it as a way to talk to each other, or kind of gossip, and use it to create groups. So that's interesting. That's humans. The thing when I read these people from a long time ago, or listen to their words, is that we're the same. We've been the same forever. Like, humans treat each other the same. Like, they never, the same issues socially that these guys had are the same issues that we still have today. Like there's nothing, their words are the same as if they wrote them today. And so it makes me believe that there's just the same group of people on the earth forever. Like, I mean, at least the same types of groups of people, and they do the same things. The age of enlightenment, there's just this. Seems like it's the same game people play with each other as a group, as a world power, or as a I learned about fascism and stuff, and so when he talks about Nazis, it's kind of like I kind of have been learning what was going on during that time, and what the people thought in those countries. They thought they were creating something new, and worthy and important, and the next step to human society. And then it led to World War II. And so, a lot of interesting things that could be learned in history that I think doesn't seem like people are really grasping that and understanding that the information. I know the leaders are probably doing it, or I hope, but thinkers. There's a reason that there's thinkers in the world, and even though they seem to be continuously controlled by people in authority, and their contributions sometimes lead to negative situations, kind of like science. But really, these people are good intentioned, and their contributions are great. He was acknowledged for his work, and so yeah, another guy that I admire, and think his writings are really awesome. And I'm going to continue reading that book, and if I read something important, I'll make another one of these on that book. But next time I write one of these, I will be talking about whatever new book. Maybe I've been wanting to talk about the Orwell stuff, but so I got the only book that I could find was, I don't know, I think I got 1984. But I also listened to that on audio, but that's the next book that I'm gonna read, just because of how relevant it's been, and not for it's been since he wrote it, but in this computer age, virtual reality. Am I right?